Hello, 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 everybody. How are y'all today? This is just minutes after the UFC. If you can listen faintly, you could hear it in the background still of Goldberg talking. I'm gonna go over some of the fighters and some of the fights. I think I went 6-3 on this fight card. Not too bad, not too good. Can't complain too much about it though. One of them I did expect to lose on, like I said, but I'll go over that. The first match, Matt Grice versus Jason Black. As I said, this was going to be a wrestler's duel, and it was a wrestler's duel. From what I hear, Jason Black, nearly caught him in a couple of Kimuras and nearly run a few rounds, but Matt Grice pretty much kept top position and lay and prayed away to the victory, like I said it would. If you watch the weigh-ins, Jason Black looked sucked in again. I just don't think that 155 is his place. I think he gasses too easily at 155, and I think that's a problem for him. Moving on, Josh, the People's Warrior Berkman versus Forrest, the Meat Cleaver Petts. Like I said, the first round, Berkman comes out strong, almost finishes it, does some really good damage. Second round, he gets in a rhythm and he starts to be really bad. He loses the second round in the scorecards opinion. I didn't get to see the fight, unfortunately. They didn't show it. But in the end, he did just enough to win. He got the split decision for Berkman. Basically, what it seems like is he's cutting too much weight and he's losing his cardio as a result of it. He either needs to get on a diet and change something, or he needs to move to a different weight class, which I think he's too small for 185, so it looks like he's screwed either way. Third fight of the night, Damon Maya versus Jensen. Like I said, I didn't know much about Maya. I didn't know much about Jensen. I knew Jensen was kind of a kickboxer, but had a lot of submissions. I should have looked up Maya a little bit more. Jeremy later educated me that he was a very, very highly decorated grappler, and Jensen was very, very easy to submit against a very good grappler. So, yeah, Maya got him with a quick 2-minute rear naked choke. I just watched at the very end, and it was pretty good to watch. Next fight, like I said, Okami versus McDonald. If you found somebody stupid enough to take that bet the farm. I hope y'all took my advice. I hope y'all made some money. I made about $20 off of it, I think, because I got some dildo that actually thought that McDonald was worth the hype because they showed him a lot of TV, a lot more than Okami. Look at his record. Okami's only been beat one time outside of a decision. That was by submission due to strikes. He's never been submitted, and that's all McDonald has. He has no wrestling. He doesn't have the strength to use his wrestling. And to be honest, he's just not good against ground and pound. Okami pretty much stayed on top and controlled the entire fight. It looked like he wasn't very dominant in the striking, but he was, he smothered him. It was basically somebody with really good wrestling versus somebody with bad wrestling, but it's a good jiu-jitsu guy. And jiu-jitsu usually is beaten by good wrestling and good submission defense. So, unfortunately, that's the way it went. Next fight, Gurgel versus Robinson. I got this one wrong. I thought if Ken Flo was able to control Robinson, that Alvin Robinson, that George Gurgel should be able to as well. And he did, actually, in the first round. He looked really good in the first round. Second round came, and I thought he had him with that sweep armbar combo that got him into the sweep and got him into position, but, Alvin just stayed on him, stunned him, and just stayed on him like stink on shit for the next 2 rounds and basically punished him. I kind of felt sorry for George Gurgel. He looked bad at the end of the fight. Next fight, Belcher versus Caleb Starnes. I thought I had Starnes for unanimous decision here, but as I said in my preview, or my prediction, that all Belcher needs to do is get in Starnes' face and put the pressure on. And that's exactly what he did. He put that pressure on. Starnes had some pretty decent hands, but he had no power behind his hands. He needs to work on his punching power, maybe. That's kind of hard to get. Plus, Belcher doesn't have that bad of a chin when it comes to punches. I love the little line. He kind of, Belcher said, Caleb Starnes kind of fights like a girl. Kind of had me laugh. Caleb got cut early, and basically Belcher stayed on him and kept working that cut. And at the end of the first round, you could see when they stood back up for the second round, Caleb's eyes were down on the ground and his heart was out of it. As usual, he has no heart. He has no heart at all. The doctor said that skull when he looked at his cut, so that cut was a deep cut. And of course, it tells you the kind of heart that Caleb has when uh, he looks to his corner and has to yell at them because they automatically think that he just gave up and told the doctor that he didn't want to fight anymore. Because automatically he starts yelling at his corner because his corner probably gave him a look or said something or muttered something to him, and he started yelling and cussing at his corner. So that should tell you something about, what they think of him, and that's his freaking corner, for God's sake. Next fight, big Ravishing Red Schaefer versus Stephan Bonnar. I think his name's Eric Schaefer. I might be wrong about that. Fight played out a little bit different in the first round that I planned it. I thought Bonnar was going to control him throughout the fight, but no. Actually, Schaefer did some really good jiu-jitsu, but I think he burned himself out in that first round trying to get that rear naked choke. Because you could tell Bonnar was just so much bigger than Schaefer. So much bigger. I'd say he had about a good 15, 20 pounds on him. Bonnar came in, second round and did Fedor Emelianenko style ground and pound on him, and I was actually impressed by that because I've never seen that from Bonnar before. Bonnar usually does, the typical UFC style, or not even UFC, typical grappler. Not too many people do that kind of ground and pound where they just unleash unless they got the guy hurt. So he unleashed pretty well and stayed on him, and finally he got the second round stoppage. Next fight, Brandon the Truth Vera versus Tim Sylvia. I got a lot of crap. If y'all look at my board, people were sitting there saying they disagree with me on Vera, they disagree on me, I'm a nub, I don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all can eat my asshole with the spoon, bitches! Yeah, not only did Silva win, I think Silva won all 3 rounds. I mean, I was watching Sherdog, I was reading that along with watching the fight, and Sylvia basically controlled that fight, and people were bitching that Sylvia was making a boring fight. You got to understand, Vera was instigating 90% of all those clinches. Watch the fight. It was Vera going into the clinch, especially through the first round and the second round. That third round, there were clinches, but they were being separated pretty quick, and even Silva said at the very first, "Come on, Brandon." He even said that in the first round. So do not even start making videos, "Oh, Silva's a really dumb fighter, he's boring, blah, 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 blah." He did not. He basically controlled the fight. He didn't want to take a step back and get that cheap shot that Vera likes to do, or not Vera, anybody would do. I don't blame him. It's legal, but it's a cheap shot, basically jabbing an Ali jab when the guy's backing away from the clinch. Vera wasn't very aggressive, and people were going to use the excuse that he broke his hand. But he didn't go for any leg kicks that often. Some people gave him the second round because he hit 2 kicks out of 3. One kick didn't even connect, and the other kick that he kicked didn't connect either, and he landed on the ground. So it was actually 4 kicks. 2 of them actually connected, and they weren't even obviously not that bad of kicks. So, I mean, people looked ready to just hand this fight over to Vera if he just tried to. So, yeah. Like I said, if you break a hand, how are you not going to kick? He should have been leg kicking the hell out of him, but he didn't. Like I said, Vera looked slow and sluggish. He looked lack of aggression. He looked bad. Whereas Silva looked good. Silva came in at 260. That means he did not have to cut the fight. That means he didn't have to cut any weight at all. How crazy is that? Tim Silva not having to cut weight. A 6'8" guy as big as Tim Silva not having to cut weight. So Tim Silva looked good. Vera didn't look. He looked timid at the entrance. His eyes were down. He looked no intensity. And of course, like I said, Franklin versus Silva happened around early, but Silva pretty much dominated Franklin. Silva was just too fast. He was dancing around. He hit him with everything in the book that he could hit him with. Franklin lasted a lot longer than he did in the first fight, but it ended in the end. So that's my prediction. That's my results. Hope y'all like it. Hit me back. Leave me a comment. Later.